Hi, Grandma from Grandma's Footsteps here. Welcome to my channel, and today we are going to make a greetings card, A5 in size, and it's called Hill Cottage. And here it is. It's quite a simple picture, but I hope you're going to enjoy the tutorial. Okay, so today I'm using my earth mat from the makers. I've got my greetings card, it's A5 in size, and it's an aperture card, which is great because it means that you can put your needle felted picture in and it's held in place and looks really neat in my opinion. So I've taken a piece of felt the same size as the card and I've drawn the aperture on. And now I have a small sketch that I drew, really quick and easy, and I trace it onto parchment paper. I do this so that I can still have the picture, because when you turn it over, it swaps it over sides. So you want to be able to see the picture the same way round as you're felting it. So um, you've got a reference picture then. So here we go, and I was using my iron-on transfer pens. These I get from Amazon. Just filling in the quick details. I did put a large tree there, but in the end I decided not to add it to the card. And in fact I make quite a few changes to this picture as we go along. So, you know, it's not written in stone just because you've got that sketch. It's just a guideline. So, okay, we've got the picture, we've got the felt, we've marked it with the iron-on transfer pen, and now we iron it. Oh, made a little mistake there, I had the steam on, but there we go, and we're just going to iron it on. Lovely, nice clear picture. I think that bit of mess there was because I had the iron on, the steam on. Okay, ready to start felting. Nice bit of blue sky to start with. I'm using a carded bat there. I do like to use roving for my skies usually because it's got a bit of a shine to it, but I do add roving to this sky, but in yellow and orange. It gives you a nice base. And here we go. This is a mixed roving that I've got here, a blended one, which is basically yellow and orange. So you can pick out the yellow bits, you can pick out the orange bits. It's very nice. It's great for making sort of sunsets. It does give a little bit of a shine to that part of the sky. Okay, it's got darker as the orange, from the yellow down to the orange as we've gone down, it's got darker. We're just making a bit of a sunset. I'm adding a little bit of darker blue into the top left hand corner there, just to make the sky a little more interesting. And some white fluffy cloud. And now we're just needle felting the sky down using the clover pen, 3 needles, faster needle felting. And now I'm adding in the first of the sort of background hills here. I've got a very, very light green. Doesn't look green at all really, but it is green. There we go. First hill. And then what I like to do is to take the colour that I was using and add another colour to it. It helps to blend it. Excuse my head popping into shot every so often, and my hoodie. It's cold in my house. So. Second hill done. Decided to add a little bit more yellow to the sky. And now I'm actually going to make the sun. I haven't made it completely round because it's going down between those 2 hills there, so the bottom of it is shaped. But yeah, there you go, nice little sun. And then I like to put a couple of lighter colour stripes just across it. Sometimes I do it in white. In this case I've done it in yellow. It's just to yeah, there you go, very pretty. Now I'm adding yet another different green to my pile there. And all the time I'm looking for little bits that need to be needle felted down, bits that are sticking up or not really smooth and flat. So just adding yet more colour to the green. There we go. Last bit of hill, just coming up to the building there, going round the building very carefully. And you want to have the colour expanding out beyond the shape of the aperture, so that when you put it into the card, you've got you know you're going to have the picture going from all the way round to side. Otherwise, you know, you could have a bit of the felt showing, which you wouldn't really want. And now I'm just getting some of my mixed up green. It's got all sorts of different colours in here, and I just cut it into very, very small pieces into a pot. It stops it from going everywhere, and also it gives you a place to keep keep it for another picture, or for later on in the picture. It's very, very good for trees when you cut it up into small pieces like that. You'll see me use some of the other colours at some point. Now, while I was doing this picture, I actually decided that I didn't like the path. I didn't like the path going down there like that. And I decided I was going to do a wall along the side of the water. So it made a slight difference to the way that I felted it here. Just felted down to the edge, because that's where I'm going to put my wall. And I was going to do it with a gap in it for the path, but I changed my mind again, as you'll see later on. So just needle felting this down now. A little bit of brown just at the front. And this is where I put the path in the first time. And then I decide that it doesn't look right perspective wise, so I will take it back out and put lawn across the top. But now we'll start with the water. We've got this beautiful dark blue. The darker the blue, the deeper the water looks. We always start off with the dark colours because it just works better. For me, anyway. So, I know I've got this really lovely light blue, which we're just going to put a little bit across the top. Try and keep your water straight. Water doesn't go uphill. And there you go. It just starts to look, magically starts to look like water. There we go. And also, that's your sort of reflection of the blue part of your sky there. And now bits of yellow to put in a bit of a reflection from your yellow parts of the sky here coming in. And this wouldn't work properly if you didn't have that dark blue underneath first. And every so often you can actually take your card, put the aperture over it, and just look and see what it's coming along like. So, and now I'm just filling in the house. This is a sort of an off-white, so it looks like the house has been rendered, perhaps. But yeah, just an off-white. But remember, with buildings, you need to try and get them straight. Nice straight edges, sharp corners, as much as possible. And the roof. It's a bit of brown. I've got the roof sloping a little bit here, but I will adjust that later. There we go. That's improved it a little bit. Still doesn't look quite right to me, so I will play with it for a bit more yet. That's where I took the path out and decided to put the grass across it. I will actually later put in a bit of a path, but with better perspective. And now I've put a reflection of the sun, but once I start doing the reflection from the house, I suddenly realise that I've put the sun in the wrong place, so I will move it. So when you're doing the reflections, you need to put down a very, very light, very thin, wispy bit. Just basically get the basic colours and shapes, and it will look quite good like a reflection. So that's all you need to do, really. Get good shapes and colours, and you'll be able to see it as a reflection and not as another house. There we go. And this is where I've decided to move the sun. Looks much better there. That was the reflection of the sun I moved, not the sun itself. So there's your reflections. Fairly happy with that at the moment. And now I'm taking some of that very light blue and just going over the top of the reflections a little bit. And with the wall here, you notice I'm taking the black, grey and white roving and rolling it, pulling little bits off, rolling it into little balls. The beauty of this particular roving is, you get it gets to look like rocks because you've got the different colours in the wool there, so it works really well. It's my favourite wool for making rocks or walls. Okay, just from one side to the other. Just continuing with the little balls to make the wall. There we are. And you can see the way the different colours in that particular roving work to make an interesting wall. It makes interesting rocks too. I really like making rocks. Didn't put any rocks around the water this time because I built a wall. But there we are. And this is a sort of a grey, just making a little bit of a shadow under the wall there. And I do like a nice dark line there, which is the closest part of the shadow to the wall, and it just finishes it off nicely. And now I'm going to add a chimney. Couple of attempts at this, but not perfect at this point. And it actually comes out a little bigger than I anticipated, but I think it's okay. Little line down there to delineate between the side of the chimney and the front. For some reason I struggle to get this straight, or angled in this case. So I just struggle with it. So it ends up not looking as connected as I would like. And now I'm adding a bit of grey to the front of the chimney because the front of the chimney would be in shadow. As you can see where the sun is. So the front of the chimney is most definitely in shadow. And now a very thin grey line there just to show that that's where the corner of the wall is. There we are. House is coming on really nicely now. And I'm adding some little bits of yellow down the hills from the sun, where the sun would shine, just coming down, just lifts it up a little, and yeah, a little bit close to the top of the wall as well, just all the way down. We've already got a bit in the water there, so I'm putting a slightly lighter colour on the side, the top corner of the house, because that's where the light will catch on the house from the sun behind it there. So it'll just catch on that bit, just lighten it just a little bit. That's it. Just trying to maintain the square edges there. And now I'm adding a bit of darker brown just under the chimney, because the chimney will cast a shadow on the roof of the house. And the house itself will cast a shadow, which is what I'm doing now. Just a bit of a shadow. Adding a small tree. And now again with the cut up bits, but in a lovely sort of shades of burgundy. Now we're just adding some foliage to the tree. Keep it fairly light, a little bit lighter as you go to the top, so that you know, you can sort of see through the foliage a little bit more at the top. So very pretty. And now we've got a sort of a mix of orange, touch of yellow in it. And some windows. Add the door. A little bit of outlining on the windows. go. Cottage, lovely. Now you can see I have put a little path in again, but it's different. It's a different angle. Perspective wise, it looks a lot better. I'm just adding a sort of a purpley bush, shrub, whatever, here on this side. Okay, some little tiny white dots. Make it look like it's got some flowers there. That's working for me. A bit of reflection there from the windows. The light pouring out of the windows. Now I'm doing a couple of sheep on the hill there. Just a round ball of white, and because they are really, really small, rather than trying to make the black heads for them, I just use a Sharpie marker. Just mark a little bit of black on that. It's just a matter of getting it to look right. It's coming on nicely now. A little bit of smoke from the chimney. I've just drawn in a little bird. You can needle felt it in, but that's just works. Now, picture's finished. We're just going to trim it off and slide it inside the card just to make sure that it looks how we want it to. And this is what I said, we're going to have to be very careful now to make sure that we get the card the right way round when we start attaching the picture to it. I'm just making a few minor alterations to the, but there you go. So that's how it looks. Yeah, quite happy with that. So we've trimmed it down so it fits inside the card really easily. And now we're going to iron it. You'll notice, and I am using steam, but you will notice I'm very careful. I'm ironing above and below the wall. I want the wall to be sticky out a bit. Okay, so now on the inside of the card, around the aperture, I'm using double-sided tape. You can use glue. I prefer the tape, but that's entirely up to you. So you make sure that it's the right way up. It's important so that the card opens the right way. There we are. So I just put that down slightly before I push it right down, and then just smooth it right the way around the edges. You will get a few bits of fluff suck out, but just trim them off. Make sure your card's the right way around, and then add your double-sided tape to the flap that you're going to stick down. Now don't pull your tape off completely at this point, except the one next to the fold. So check, check and check again that your card is going to be the right way round once you've glued it down. Okay, so then you push that down right next to the fold, pull the corner, the tape off the sides and rub it down, make it nice and smooth, and voila, there's your card. All done and looking gorgeous. Okay. Well, thank you for coming and joining me today. Please like, comment and subscribe, or maybe support me on my Patreon. There is a link down below.